Hello everyone, today I'm going to be talking about Chainsaw Man, and if you didn't hear, a while ago Chainsaw Man actually got the announcement that it was ending, but it was only part 1 that was ending, and that is the public safety arc. Basically, there's a new story coming from the same author in the Chainsaw Man universe, following Denji as he's going to high school, and I've seen some complaints about this. People are scared that the high school story is going to take away from what Chainsaw Man is, but I'm here to tell you that the high school arc has already been done, and this is going to be more adult than ever, and basically break down why I think this, and why I think it's very likely that Chainsaw Man Part 2 will blow everyone away. So first off, I want to touch on Chainsaw Man Part 1. What is Chainsaw Man Part 1? I would argue it's more high school-like and kid-friendly, I guess you could say, than whatever Part 2 is going to touch on, just based off the themes that have been set up in the end of Part 1. Because when we start out the story, what is a more complicated goal for Denji? Is it Part 2's goal of keeping this little girl safe and raising her to not be Makima? Or is it wanting to grope girls? You tell me. And that is just to say that basically Denji had his high school arc where his best friend, or his kind of friend, was Aki, and a love interest was Power, and then there was another love interest, which is Rize, and then there was another love interest, which was Makima, and those guys all turned him down, and he found out that he was better on his own, and then he got set with a daughter. What I'm trying to say is that we've already kind of covered the high school section. Fujimoto is probably not going to focus too much on the friendships and the intricacies of high school life. I wouldn't guess that, but I think he's going to focus more on the stuff he set up in Part 1, which is the Control Devil and the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse and the Primordial Fears. I think that's going to be more focused on, instead of the little interactions between, and there's still going to be a lot of devil slang, don't get me wrong, but you got to look at the structure of Part 1 to inform your guesses about Part 2. In Part 1, even though in its later half it had a lot of twists and turns, Part 1 was largely at the start a very basic story, which all stories at the start are usually basic. But this one in specific is pretty basic, because Denji is a street kid who gets murdered, transformed into Chainsaw Man, and is given the chance to work at the Public Safety Commission to defeat devils and just to save a lot of people. And then he meets Power, and it doesn't become about him having a job. Sure, he has a job and he's in the adult situation, but Power is more like a high school friend, and Aki is more like this high school buddy too. The high school aspects are more focused on in Part 1, and I can't see Part 2 repeating that, but what I can see is Part 2 leaning into the father-daughter themes that the Control Devil now brings up. I forget her name, but the little girl seen in the last chapter, that's going to be more of the focus, I think. On top of that, we have the search for the Blood Devil, and we have all the Primordial Fears, as I mentioned earlier. And now we get a story that's basically kind of already laid out, but it's going to have a few Chainsaw Man-esque twists and turns. Of course, I'm expecting that, where basically Denji has to fight someone who's probably going to try to wield the Primordial Fears, or the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse themselves. They're going to have to fight people like those. Probably he's going to end up getting the Blood Devil back kind of on his side, at least in some capacity, because you got to remember that the Blood Devil is Power. So it's not going to be as simple as, hey, we were friends in a past lifetime, let's be friends again. Denji's going to have to open up the Blood Devil and really get in there and really change how it thinks completely. And I generally think that Chainsaw Man Part 2 will blow everyone away, and I would not worry. I trust Fujimoto enough to let him make whatever story he wants, even though he might call it the high school arc, he might call it this, that. It's not going to be a high school arc. It's not going to be anything like My Hero Academia or any school stories, I don't think. It's going to definitely focus on more mature themes, moving to Shonen Jump Plus and moving to Manga Plus and stuff. And it is going to get a nice, I think, release schedule with a lot of breathing time, because generally the schedules there are 3 chapters a month with 1 break chapter. And that's usually like a little art booklet that lets you kind of see a few pages of the characters, which is always fun. It means more artwork. Not all authors do that, but I've been personally reading Monster number 8 on Shonen Jump Plus, and that's what that series does. Anyways, I hope you guys had a good time watching this video, and I really want to hear your thoughts in the comments. So if you do want to express your worries or concerns in the comments, or your hopes and dreams for the series going forward, I'd love to hear them, and I would love to kind of interact with you guys. So leave that in the comments, and if you like this video, then press the like button. It really helps out every video I do. And if you wanted to subscribe because you like this video and you like some of my other content, then please do. And I'd recommend you stick around to check out my other videos in the end card, because that also really helps the channel. Yeah, see you guys later. Peace.